Well, hello there. You're currently watching a man named Lee Ji-han. I'm currently a student at Kyunghee University and running a small YouTube channel with 60k subscribers. I grew up as a science nerd, then I somehow took the university entrance exam for liberal arts student, and now I'm majoring in some sort of design. Well, positively speaking, I'm a man with a wide variety of knowledge, but on the other hand, just a weird guy. Anyway, glad to meet you all. Before start, well, I am not a native English speaker, so my English can be a little bit clunky and wacky for some viewers. So if you are that kind of viewer, please bear with me. I'm struggling too. I was a huge geek. Have you heard of a science box? It's like Meccano and Lego hybrid for Korean students. Bolts and nuts, motors, gears, you know what I'm saying. Back then when I was 3rd grade elementary school student, I saw that on nearby store's show window by chance. I got instantly hooked onto that somehow, so I asked my grandmother so can she buy me one. Now I'm thinking that was the start of my interest in getting attention by making and sharing something. After a years of grinding, I ended up getting a 2nd place on National Science Box Championship. My first time getting a banner with my name written on. Man. But like, someone like me, geeky and nerdy, are a good target for a school bullies. Same thing applied to me. But I am not a shy person and my speech skill was fairly decent, so there were always a friends hanging around with me. Plus, my score was pretty high, so, well, I say that's just happy days. Then, after graduating middle school, I get to enter a high school without a single familiar face. Yet, first few months were great. I made new friends quickly and had a good time, but it went wrong after that. Do you know the weak point of a student who only hangs out with a specific group? Well, they fall when that group itself expels him. Now, someday, I made a minor mistake on school. Nothing critical, but after the incident, the group that I thought that they were my friend, they turned away from me, getting intentionally ignored. The moment when my school life broke down. After that, I just kept attending class without passion or will or anything. Only with a vague hope of getting back to the old days with friendship, thinking that I was a problem. But after a year later, I got to know the truth. I was just a target. The author behind this forced the group members to intentionally stay away from me to build their power and strength in the group. In short, I was a victim who got abused by my trusty friends. After knowing that, my mind just shattered. Before knowing that I could at least attend a class despite the fact I had no will or anything, but after knowing that, the very act of attending a class started to give me a panic attack. I just couldn't able to step inside the school anymore. That day, the day I get to know the truth, was few days before the summer vacation, so my parents were able to transfer me to the other school during it. But the problem hasn't solved, even after that. After panics, I ended up quitting school and shutting myself, only playing games with defocused eyes. But my parents couldn't stand watching their son breaking down, so they found out this center and brought me here. While consultation, Mr. CEO of this center told me that if a school is a nightmare to you, you don't need to go there, and told me that there is a still strength inside of my mind. So after hearing that, I was like, hell, what can go more wrong than this? And entered this center. Attend the center regularly, set the timetables together, and follow it. Basically, this is the motto of this center. Even if it's so small and puny, you've said it so, you need to follow it. Only follow it. This actually helped me a lot to recover my mental health from after all those incidents. In a high school that I got transferred on, teachers had to force the student to study, so they meddled me over and over. It's their job, so I can't say it's wrong or something, but well, I was having an extreme lethargy at the moment, so it only got worse after all those medals. Hell, one time I got extremely scared to attend the class, so I ended up hunching in the corner of the school rooftop in early winter. But in the center, I was the one who's setting up my goals, so no one tried to meddle me around, as long as I'm doing it. So it was like being true to myself. I've set my goals, so who can I possibly blame? By achieving those goals over and over, my mind cured a lot, and new goals started to catch my eyes. Entering a good university, becoming a man who has a job he truly likes, this sorta. Like that, new goals made by me have set, and this time I could able to move step by step all by myself. And now I'm here, vigorously speaking my past to you people. Seems fine, right? After second university entrance exam, I got through Gyeonghi University. To be honest, if I were a little bit more focused, there might be a chance of me getting into a better university, but considering that I was a pretty much walking dead before, without any will to leave, well, I say it's a success. After pass, every graduate and center members gathered up and had a party. While that, I got presented with a rolling paper from center members and my old future goals scribble they stored. Reading those one by one, I don't know why, but it brought some tears to my eyes. I was like this back then, I'm like this now. This is how they thought about me. All those acts weren't worthless, I succeeded at the end. All those sort of thoughts flooded into me. It's hard feeling to describe with mere speaking, but I think you've understood what I've said. It's gonna be a long story, man. Anyway, here it goes. One day, the remaining day till the university entrance exam came below 100, I started to practicing with mock tests every day. With a legit timer set, of course. While doing that, my brain was like, hey, if you won't grant me a lot of glucose ASAP, I'ma quit my job, so give me that. So, I had no choice but gulping a lot of boxes of sweet cereals daily, seriously. That was all the thing I can do, just munching a lot of snacks and cereals and doing the test. Because of that, my studying desk slowly getting filled with all sorts of snacks, and because of that, some students actually started to steal it. I mean, why? I would have shared it if they asked me. So one day, the demon inside me made up a plan, setting up a trap inside of my snacks. I placed my cereal spoon upside down in the case intentionally and manipulated the number of candies with individual packagings so they can be divided with 3. And the very next day, I checked my trap type set. Well, the spoon's position was back to right side up, and the candies, they no longer can be divided with 3. Gotcha! So I interrogated the only colleague who was in studying room in that morning. He tried to deny it at first, but in the end, he admitted. Then he asked how the F I noticed that, so I explained him how I set my traps. He legit got shocked while hearing that. Well. So after that, he never stole a single piece of snacks ever again. To teach someone a lesson, sometimes a well-landed punch is the best option, I guess. God. One more episode here. While practicing exams, I was having fun helping other students solving questions. Most of them are pretty smooth sailing if I concentrate enough, but one day, one question stopped me over 30 minutes. I was legit like this through those 30 minutes. I just couldn't able to spot any first option. But like a spark, I saw the 10% quotation from one option and finally concluded that this is the wrong one because it said 10%, not a 10% point. And it was the right answer. Who the hell makes a question like that? Even though I lost most of the memories of the questions I solved, that exact one, still lives inside of my brain. It was that impressive. In a bad way, of course. Well, public education, aka schools, works like industrial products. For the majority of students, no problem. But for the broken down students like I was before, it's not gonna work well. Comparing the center with that, it's more like custom-made products. Of course, not everyone will be happy about the product even if it's custom-made, but for a student who's broken, center can be a good alternative to recover their mental health and start again. Well, school and academy are mostly focused on how can we teach these to students more effectively so they can enter a good university. The center, on the other hand, focuses on how can we convince students that getting into a good university is important. Not saying one of them are wrong, more like they're aiming different directions. Well, if I ended up failing to recover my mind, I don't want to think about this, but I might be buried somewhere under there. Even if I somehow recovered myself, I doubt I could come this far. Anyway, at the end of the day, I recovered myself, and now I'm away from the option which could left a huge scar to everyone's mind who I loved unlike before. That's a relief. Visiting center time to time and take some conversations with new students, and if there's a field trip, take a guide position. If some student wants to talk something deeply with me, I do that too. Like most of the students in this center, I'm a man who had hard times, so if anyone wants my helping hands, I'll say yes. Always. Figuratively speaking, a stepping ground would be it. Think of a drowning man. If they don't feel any ground under them, first they panic, then give up, and drown to death. But even while drowning, if they feel the ground under them, magically their will to survive pops back up. Back then, when I was lost, all of my will to live, it felt like drowning. But by staying and studying in here, I managed to step out of the water. So I think this will be possibly the best metaphor I can think of right now, I suppose. There will be quite a lot of people who are wanting to quit life because the situation they're confronting seems way too harsh. I am not a wise old man who saw everything, but there's one thing that I can tell them. If you're struck by those kinds of situations, try to remember what you truly love and passionate about and start walking forward, even if it's slow and painful. If it's too hard, ask for help. Someone will be there always. The world is bigger than we think. Remember this. It's not over because you tripped over. Giving up because you tripped over is the true game over. It's not a time to give up, no matter what situation it is. I'm believing in you. Wish you luck.